Hello lovely people and welcome to day 244 of my year of full-time chess. I'm going to play a rapid game today because it's Thursdays, it's Rapid Game Thursdays, you know the schedule. I am currently rated 1656, up from the relative doldrums of the 1400s. I managed to tilt my way down to there and now I am back up to 1656. Still, it says highest rating 1691, I don't understand. Because I didn't do all time, so all time is 1781, so I'm not yet into the 1700s and I'm hopefully going to get back to there and break into the 1800s at some point soon. My ECF over the board rating hasn't changed. I haven't played any more games. I'm still at 1581, which will change because I've played 2 games since then. I don't know what it will change to. Will it go up slightly? Oh yeah, look, there we go. So I should have, it will go up ever so slightly, like 3.5 points or something like that. I'm going to play a game. 15 plus 10. I'm playing the black pieces. Whoa, look at that board. This guy. Vedan from England. He's not from the UK. This goes from England. I mean, I'm from England, but my thing says I'm from the UK. Interesting. I'll play the King's Indian Defence. I don't know it particularly well, but I know where the pieces I'd like to put the pieces. I don't have any like nuanced understanding of it though. So what's my understanding of it? So my understanding is you don't go after the centre straight away. You attempt to get the king safe ASAP, potentially push c5 and e5, induce white into locking up the centre, and then go for a kingside attack. So like something like this, and then go hell for leather on the kingside. So, right, let's think about this position. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to count the checks. I'm counting the checks every time I make a move or my opponent makes a move. I've sort of forgotten to do that because I'm talking to you. But every single move I should just count how many checks does my opponent have, how many checks do I have? And then I won't be surprised by checks. I found it surprisingly good. I mentioned it in my most recent video about atomic habits for chess. I struggle with making a checklist. So let me just give me a second. I'll stop. Just give me a second. Push, takes, and then this. So I don't want that. Not yet. If I go here and they push, I can take. They can take. I'm not that keen on that. Okay, I calculated that if they firstly I calculated that there aren't any checks for either side. And then I calculated like after this move. So the idea is like after I play my move, what are there any checks for my opponent? And I suppose for me it's before this move. Like, do I have any checks right now? And once I play my move, will my opponent have any checks? I calculated if they pushed now before they moved the queen, then I could take. They take back with the pawn probably, so they don't lose their bishop, and then I could go knight to h5. Attacks the bishop, and the bishop has a responsibility to defend this pawn. So yeah, I didn't think they'd go for that. Now, they're looking at this square with their bishop. I could push h5 so that this square is now defended by 2 pieces. If I just say, okay, you can put your bishop on h6, I'm happy with that. If I push here and they go bishop h6, I might even ignore that and just say, okay, well, I'm going to take. You've got a choice. You can't take back with the queen because you'd lose the bishop. So white might just take, and in which case I think I would just take this pawn because I'm attacking the queen, and so they have to probably take back or take back with the queen, say, and then I take, let's say, just with to avoid, to allow me to queenside castle later. In which case, I have won a piece. So let's try something else then. If I push, they're probably not going to go here. Probably not going to go there. I mean, I could even just, in that case, I could even just take and then this. So if I go here and they take first, take back, and now they come here. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Okay, I'm doing the classic thing where I go ridiculously down on time, so I need to think a bit faster. So checking checks. I have no checks. My opponent has no checks. That's good. Okay, I decided to break in the center because if they come here, I think I will just ignore that. I think it's a bit of a waste of time. And in the meantime, well, no, they're not going to come here straight away. They'll have to take straight away. But then I think I will take back with the knight. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm not sure. I might just take back with the pawn, actually. Ask the bishop a question. Because if I take back with the knight, they can just give up the bishop pair and then have my king go uncastled. So takes, 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 and then queen takes queen. And I have to take back with the king. Can't castle anymore. The queens are off the board, so the king's safety is not a massive issue. Still worth considering. But I think I would probably just take back with the pawn. Ask the bishop a question. She just made the bishop a female. So the bishop will come to h6, probably. And then I think I just try and get on with development. Like, okay, you can have that bishop, that's fine. I know I would prefer to keep this because I've tried to fianchetto it. But I might just ignore that. And I mean, I could also, yeah, I might ignore it or I might take it and get the queen offside. Get the queen to h6. But I can also just try and get on with my own development. I could put my knight here, attacking this pawn. It's only defended once. White would have to do something about that. Let's go. So takes, bishop h6. Let's take first. Bishop h6, queen h6, knight c5. Now it's attacked twice. This queen isn't actually attacking anything, I don't think. Like, she's not scaring h7. h7 is defended twice. So, yeah, perfectly stable, I think. It can't give a check. It can give a check. You can give a check on f8, but it probably won't do that. And then I can develop my bishop, possibly to, probably here. And then get my queen out and castle queenside. So yeah, the checks thing has been working really well for me. I've played like 6 games maybe with the checks. This is what it looks like. Like tallies of how many times I'm not doing it this game, obviously. Okay, so they don't take. I thought I was okay in this position. So I thought they had to take the pawn. So I think what I calculated in this line was pawn takes, and if they take, then pawn takes. They don't have a check. I suppose they could go here, just saying, okay, if you take my, yeah, but I can just give a check. You can't do that. So pawn takes. What do they have in this position that I'm maybe missing? If pawn takes and queen takes, bishop takes bishop on h6. The queen isn't actually scaring this knight, the white queen, because it's defended twice. Can it give a check? Yes, technically on e5, but it's not a good check. It can be taken. So, pawn takes pawn. We've got a hanging knight at that point, a hanging bishop, but it's defended by the queen. Okay, pawn takes pawn. Knight gets out of the way. That's one move I didn't see. Knight b5, but then that undefends this. Very interesting. Okay, I'm going to take it. I think this is the only good move. I think there's a chance that if they play knight b5, I might just come here with the queen. I'm attacking this pawn twice with check if I can take with the queen. In that position, the knight has checks available to it. So actually, that wouldn't be a good move because the knight would give this check, I think. It's so nice to have like an ability to notice checks now. And for a certain level of player, that will seem crazy. Like there'll be a level of player, even at my rating range, but probably even lower and definitely higher, that'll think, well, of course, you didn't notice checks before. Like, how are you playing any chess? Like, how are you winning at all if you didn't notice? Okay, so I'll just finish that thought in a second. So this is like, seems obviously winning to me. Not winning necessarily. Wait a second. Am I just confused? I think so. No, this is This is winning. Okay, so now I have to... My disadvantage here is that I am underdeveloped. Not that bad compared to them, but like they've got their king castled. They have like, they're like 2 moves away from being completely developed. Whereas I am, because of like this setup, like I have to move my knight, which is developed, but it's developed to a square that's in the way of my bishop. So I've got like, let's just imagine, these aren't good moves. Okay, knight, 1, 2, 3, 4 moves. I'm 4 moves away from full development, and specifically 4 moves away from a really safe king. All right, count the checks. How many checks do I have? Well, none, but if I'm 1 move away, a tempo move away from giving a check, bit of a scary move to play, because this is this is creating the only open file on the board, and my king is the only black piece on the only open file in the board, if that does happen. So if I go here, queen comes here, I can't give that check. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea at all. Just looks so tempting though. Looks so tempting. But if I go, no, I still don't want to hit it again, because they just have queen pinning it and then pawn winning it. There's no need to get into all that. I don't need material. I'm up material. I'm down on time and I'm down on king safety because of my development. So I don't want to put my knight on any square. It can just be harassed immediately. Okay, I've got an idea. I'm going to get my queen in front of my king so that it's not so exposed. Really sort of renewing this threat, because no, it's not, because now then the rook can come across. Okay, so I just don't want that pawn at all. I just don't want it at all. But I do think I should be very careful, because even if I put my queen there, like, they can win a pawn. So I just need to do this unfurling experience carefully. Okay, I decided on knight c5 because it's a good square for the knight, I think. It's looking at some good squares in white's camp. The other option I thought of was just knight to b6, but I think that's less good. Also, the other thought I had about the knight is it gets in the way of the queen's view of this pawn as well. It did notice it before I played it. It does allow this move, but I'm not particularly scared of that. It's very weakening to the king side for white. I have more pieces to attack that king side. Okay, I can make a move with tempo. I don't think I'd want that pawn, because they could just do the Bobby Fischer, trap my knight, my bishop, or I would be Bobby Fischer in that example. I don't know if you can hear my voice. Like, I've had some coffee and I'm like a bit jittery, so it's like making me like like that. I think also I'm a little bit cold. It's my second day of gymming before chessing, so getting up at 5 again and come back from the gym. Ooh, okay, so I'll stop talking. I've got 3 minutes left. So this knight move, I don't think that's good. I don't think that's a good move, because I now have a knight takes pawn. Maybe not that knight, maybe this knight. A knight takes pawn, attacking the queen, attacking this pawn, and it can't be... Well, firstly, I've put the bishop in front of the king, so that's nice. So there's no pin worries, but also this pawn can't push anyway. So this pawn can't attack this knight in this position. I think that's a bad move from my opponent, so I'm going to take. I'm going to speed up a little bit and stop talking about being cold. After extolling the virtues of checking for checks every move, I have promptly forgotten to do it whilst filming. I do think my filming chess versus my just normal chess is still significantly different. That'll change over time. I'll just get more used to it. But I'll try and get back into checking for checks. That makes sense. Covering the pawn, getting the queen out of dodge. I'm going to get as quickly as possible, like get to castling as quickly as possible. I'm thinking of moving the queen here just so she can get involved on the queen side and where the white king is. Are there any checks for my opponent? Strangely enough, yes, there is one check, and I would be blocking it with my queen move because it's here. It's not that strange. My king is in the center of the board. So I'm going to move the queen here. I don't have any checks in this position. I do. I have checks. I don't think either of them are good though. So I could go bishop here, but then I'd get checked. So I don't want that. I just don't need that. Bishop there. Let's say they push here because they want to trap my bishop, and then I give that check. This goes here. I don't know. I don't want to do any of that. That's not what I'm in for. I'm in for just an easy life. I want to castle and then make my piece. Actually, my pieces are more active than white's pieces. It's not just that I've got a piece advantage in terms of number of pieces. I've also got a piece activity advantage, I think. But I am obviously down on the clock. This move. I missed this move. So I saw it earlier and I forgot that my knight is now hanging. So is there any way out? They missed it too. Okay, so that was just poor blunder checking from me. I'm thinking I might go here. I know that this is still on, but no, I don't have enough time to properly calculate that. The idea is this, and then I can get my knight back to here and it just doesn't get in the way of the pawn. I don't have the time for that. I'm going to go here. I know this is here. This is in the position, but I'm just going to block with the pawn, I think. I just want to get my knight out of harm's way. Very nice, but I think I'm going to push. So if here, then I'm going to push again. I don't think they can sacrifice because my queen's covering enough. This bishop's got enough defenders as well. So I don't think they're crashing through at this point. I think they're taking their time, which is good. So in the last couple of moves, they rushed a little bit. I think they were trying to rush me, but I think they're doing a good job in taking their time. Okay. So I had to take with the knight, because if I took with the queen, then white could have taken my knight and opened up a horrible pin on my queen. I think they're doing the right thing though. They're trying to make it complicated and messy and create action in the middle of the board whilst I'm still uncastled. I'm just one move away from castling, but still not quite there. I need to be aware that when I do castle queenside, that queen is currently eyeing up this pawn. So that's worthy of considering. Because if I just castle queenside and they take that pawn, like they're threatening checkmate. So I have to then defend against checkmate when I've just put my king into what I thought was a safe place. Okay. So they're not going to allow me to take that bishop. That's fine. I think I'll just push. And then they can do this though. That's fine. I'll push. They can push. And then I can just do a push again. Or I could even just castle. That's probably a better idea. Castle, and then things are a bit calmer. One thing I'm noticing is right now, this is pinned, this knight. So that was actually a bad move, I think, because they can just take. I can't take. Oh no, I can. Okay, it's coming to me. I can take with the queen because the piece that would be winning my queen is also the pinning piece. So we can just pretend that I saw all of that before I made the move. One thing they could do is bring this rook over, and it renews the threat of taking the pawn with either, but probably just the rook. In that case, I would. Yeah. Okay. So I am going to castle. I think it's about time. I should probably castle, shouldn't I? Let's just castle. I'm gonna castle. Any checks in that position? No, none at all. And actually, I've got a quite nice pawn on d4. I'm quite happy with that pawn. That's my extra pawn. I've got an extra piece and an extra pawn. So where do I want my pieces? And well, the pawn can just stay there, but where do I want my pieces? There are no holes. They've just got this nice double island of pawns on their home squares. So there are absolutely no holes to speak of. No outposts for my pieces. But that doesn't mean there aren't any good squares for them. So that was just attacked and undefended. So I'm thinking of bringing it round here. The thing I've got to keep aware of is that that would allow, so if I come here, that allows this. So I might just do this and go back. That's fair enough. I like how you think. So now I can take the bishops. They have to move the bishop back. Okay, I am woefully low on time, so I need to make faster moves. I didn't really want to put my rook here. It felt wrong. Undefended, well, currently defended, but yeah, that's not how I want to play chess. I want to get my pieces onto good squares, not sort of tangle them up. I see. Oh, very nice. What a move. Okay, so that's going to lose this pawn, but I'd rather lose my pawn than lose a rook. But what a move. What a move. They are making some good moves, unfortunately. So I'm expecting this, this, and this. Yep, that's exactly what I was expecting. This is a shame. My advantage! It's all gone! But yeah, that was pretty good. I appreciate that move from my opponent. Just, I think it was queen here. So queen attacking my rook, attacking the pawn, and then allowing the rook in. Like, that was just too much. Too much! So they could take my knight now, which I should have spotted. I am still playing a little bit too fast. So I could take this pawn, but then they'll come here and I can't defend these pawns. Maybe I can. Maybe I can just give these checks. Because their king is quite exposed here. I don't think they can get cover anywhere. I suppose, yes, they can do that. But then I can attack that pawn. And then I've got this pawn to focus on. But then they can defend it just by taking mine. Okay, that works. So they take. I come in here with check. Not yet. I think I'd like to just keep an eye on this pawn. And if they push, I come here. This is such an interesting position. They now have to move their rook. They can't move their king. They have to move their rook, and then I win this pawn because they're in Zugzwang. What a position this is. Holy hell. What a position. Okay, so I take this pawn, I think. This is so interesting. They may be in a bad spot here. I don't think I'll necessarily win, but I definitely didn't expect to be able to sort of like orchestrate this, which is very nice. So their king is completely trapped. They've basically trapped themselves. I think they should have just assumed, like, I think they had to take a draw there. Well, they didn't have, you know, I don't know enough about endgames, but I feel like they potentially missed. I mean, even this, like, what's going to happen here? You just go back? I think you just have to go back. What about, okay. If this and you go back, the king can't actually leave. The king can't leave at all. If the rook leaves at any point, and I can maybe come here with the king, I'm going to go here first, I think. Let me just think about this. No, I'm going to put the rook here because I'm basically saying you can't leave. The king, the white king, I know the white king can't leave, but I'm saying that the rook can't leave either, I think. Oh, no, the king has to just come back. I'm just basically saying you have to come back. I'm not saying that. I thought I was saying that. Interesting. Okay. What if I just come here and here and then here? It's a bit too slow. Can the king ever leave? I guess the rook needs to provide like a shelter. But wait a second, hold on, hold on. What about now? If the rook comes and gives a check, I can take the pawn. Oh my goodness, what's going on? What is going on? What a position. What about this? The rook steps away. I don't allow it. What a position. I don't have enough time. This is too interesting for 8 seconds. This isn't right. This isn't right. Okay, let's see what's going on. I'm gonna keep this king trapped. I think that's the way to go. But this is so, yeah, I like this endgame. I like this endgame a lot. I should have maybe got the king off the line with the rook, because they can just go here now. If they go here, what am I going to do? I think I just have to push. Push, take. I get a queen one move before them, so I think I can give checks. Take, take. King out, queen. Ah, no, I don't. Then they can give it. Then they can get a queen themselves. Okay, I think it's a draw. If only this was queenie with check. That would be the end of the game. I can't even give a check. Wow. Oh yeah, I can. Of course I can. I can give a check. Okay. They will block with the queen, and then it's the end of the game. If they don't, then I win. Okay, block with the queen. That was very nice. All right, I will have a quick look at it and get back to you shortly. So even though I obviously should have won that game, I am actually happy with how it went, because I can fix the time trouble issue. Like, I'm not getting into time trouble that much when I'm not filming. I'm still getting into time trouble sometimes, but not as much. And so I can fix that. And the bit that I'm happy with, the bit that I'm most happy with, is the calculation. So I calculated that they can't just go bishop h6, which I was right about. I already have the advantage here. I can take this pawn, and they have to play knight somewhere. Like they can't. They could do the knight b5 idea, like I said. The computer says they could also do knight d5, which I didn't think about. But they can't just take the bishop. So I was completely right. They can't take the bishop, because then this is an attack on the queen. The queen has to take back, probably, and then I just win a bishop. So I'm up the bishop. I spent a lot of time thinking about that, and then I was like trying my best not to blunder. And I managed it for quite a while. So given that I was in time trouble, I'm reasonably happy with how I dealt with all this. This is all fine. And I castled relatively safe now. I liked this move I said in the game, like cool move or whatever I said. But yeah, I was impressed with that. And then they've just created a little weakness here, like along this diagonal, which is nice. And this move was probably a little bit like silly. Like maybe why is the knight here? Why not instead play knight here? Just a more normal move for the knight. Everything's tucked in nicely. This is the only undefended piece, but it's quick to be defended. Yeah, probably a move, something like that. I don't know what the best move is here, but oh, well, I don't even need to move the knight out of the way. I can just get this knight out, but that's fine. The idea is I was down on time, so I'm not going to be too critical or put too much time into this, because I didn't think about this deeply. I didn't like make a plan. This is a cool move, and I saw that this was attacked. I saw that this is attacked, and I didn't see that this square is now a focal point, and that this is undefended, and this is obviously on the same rank. So I needed to just put something on d6. My queen, knight, something that's not that's blocking this diagonal, and just that pawn's fine. Just leave the pawn. I did leave the pawn anyway, but I didn't I just didn't notice. So I put my knight, I think, on. What did I do? Did I do that? Yeah, I did. I just blundered. So now it's pretty much equal because I just missed this move. So that was unfortunate. I played something to d6, a move late, and now it's just equal. Unfortunately, losing this pawn as well. And there was one moment where, so I think I was a bit too quick to just sort of get rid of everything on this square. So I have a control of that square. And it looks like I don't, because it looks like, well, if I attack it, I've only got 2 attackers on it and they've got 2 defenders. But I have a tempo move to add another defender to it, or to add another attacker to that square. So I take, they take, and now I have rook f4. Cool move. The pawn can't take because this is pinned and this is attacked. So what are they going to do? I suppose if they play bishop to e2, well, this is still pinned. They can't take it. But yeah, the computer's saying to play knight g5. I suppose, what's the idea between knight g5? Let's say king d2, rook e4. The idea is I had this move to slow white down and to say, okay, for now, you can't take this pawn. And I'm going to be annoying, basically. And I'm going to improve my position. And you're pretty much stuck to defending this pawn, I think. I wonder what would happen if they just played this. So let's say... Well, I suppose the knight's now doing a good job of attacking that square. So if they play here, now black can probably come in and be annoying that way as well. Okay. I'm not going to just go through engine lines exclusively, I promise. So I didn't do that. I didn't see that. Obviously down on time again. And I didn't even see, if I'm not seeing the fact that my knight can just be taken, I'm not going to see all that other stuff. And it was just dead even from here. I found this position right. I liked that I was cutting off the king, and I thought that this was better than it was actually. Maybe it is decent still, but I don't think so. And now looking at the engine and having a bit more time to look through it, I think that no matter what happens, white can always just like get out with a draw, because even if, let's say, so this is in the game. Let's say from here. So I was saying, and maybe I should have not pushed. Maybe I should have just like put my king here. The king can't get out. But even now, white can just give up the rook and then say, okay, I'm going to queen unless you just give me checks forever. Like, you have to just give me checks forever, because otherwise I'm going to queen next move and I'll win. And if white, if black doesn't give a check, like tries to get around to sort of control this square or something, then white can just make a queen straight away. So that can't happen. So yeah, it was more drawn than I expected, unfortunately. But I don't know my rook endgames, so I mean, not even close. So it was a bit exciting for me. But I still like this position. I still think that's pretty cool that, like, for that one moment, black had to give up the attack on this pawn to give black the opportunity to take that pawn. Pretty cool. Okay. I'm going to go. I am going to play a slow game today at 1 p.m. my time, and I'm thinking I might live stream it. So if you're around at 1 p.m. GMT +1, just have a look on YouTube to see if I'm live streaming. I don't know. I'm just going to make sure my opponent's okay with it. And I won't be looking at the chat so whilst I'm playing. So if you join and you start saying, hey, how are you doing? I won't be able to respond, because I'm going to, I don't want to, I want to make sure that there's no chance that anyone will, I'm going to make sure there's no chance I can see any lines that people suggest. And to do that, the only way to do that is just for me to not look at the chat. So, hope you're having a very, very nice day, and I will chat to you soon.